Yes, my people, welcome back to another Glory Hunter video. Today, you join me with more cup action. As you can see, our first live com today will be against Newcastle United in the Carabao Cup semi-final, second leg. And then our second live com will be the FA Cup fourth round against Portsmouth. Now, Portsmouth is obviously a team that we should be beating pretty comfortably and convincingly. But I think just because it's the Glory Hunter Challenge and the FA Cup is one of the big trophies that we need to win, I'm going to primarily focus on that and the Europa League this season, because we're nowhere near winning the Premier League. So I feel like there's no point really focusing on the Prem too much. But I think it's good to focus on the FA Cup and the Europa League. Now, since you were last here, we played against Everton. Did we? No, we played against Southampton, sorry. And we played against Utrecht in 0-0. Since then, we played against Newcastle in the Premier League and we won 1-0 away with a goal from Ollie Watkins. We then played against Carabao in the Europa League and we won 4-1. Goals from Sancho, Rodgers, Watkins and Gessend, getting the job done at Villa Park. We then played against Brentford at home and won 3-1 with goals from Morgan Rodgers, Watkins and Digne. And then that was it. So just 3 games in between this game here, but we do then have 2 games in between the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup against Portsmouth. Just to show you how we are doing in the Premier League, we are now up to 4th place in the table, 7 points away from 7th, meaning we are at the minute 7 points safe of getting Europa League football, which is lovely. Ollie Watkins is top goal scorer in the Premier League this year with 15. Just a very consistent player for us. Now, I did just want to touch on something, if I can get it. Hopefully it comes up. I don't know if it will. I got a bid of 87 million for Yuri Tielemans. I did not sign him. Don't know who that is. And I accepted it originally, but I then since rejected it because I tried to sign Bouadi from Lille, the young 18-year-old, but they wanted far too much. So I was like, I'll reject it and then maybe go in for them again in the summer. So our lineup today to face Newcastle in the Carabao Cup is as follows. We've got Martinez in goal. Garcia comes in for Cash, who is injured. Partners Concert, Pau Torres and Digne in the rest of the defence. With midfield 3 of Kamara, Tielemans and Harvey Elliott. Morgan Rodgers starting on the right, Sancho starting on the left and Ollie Watkins starting up top. Torres is on the bench, so will be able to come on should we need some fresh legs. So let's get in to this Carabao Cup game and see how Newcastle will be lining up for it. Okay then, so Newcastle are 2-1 up on aggregate so far. And they have gone with this lineup to face us today. Nick Pope in goal with a back 4 of Trippier, Sharp, Botman and Lewis Hall. A midfield 3 of Lewis Miley, Joe Linton and Joe Willock, with Nick Voltemade on the right, ex-villain Jacob Ramsey on the left and Guirassy up top. That's a good signing for Newcastle there, Guirassy. So we are 2-1 down in deficit here so far in this Carabao Cup semi-final. So a win by at least 2 goals is what we need as the boys lead us out for this game. And Ollie Watkins gets us underway for this Carabao Cup semi-final. Where hopefully we can try and win. As Joe Willock has a free kick for Newcastle. It's a good delivery and finds Garassi, but Garassi just heads it over. The first chance of the game goes a-begging for Newcastle. Now we do need to win this game. So fingers crossed we can try and get the job done here. Did just beat Newcastle 1-0 away in the Premier League, so hopefully we could turn that into a 2-0 win at home here. That would be lovely. And not much happening other than that free kick from Joe Willock in this first half here. As time is just trickling away as we approach the final 5 minutes of the first half here. Yet to see a highlight from Aston Villa, although they do look like the dominant side here. And that is the end of the first half here. Aston Villa 0, Newcastle 0. The deadlock yet to be broken. As Garassi gets us underway for this second half, it's good to see the pitch as Tielemans intercepts immediately. I am going to go attacking and demand and encourage, because we do seem to be playing quite well, as Trippier has a corner for Newcastle. It's a good delivery from Newcastle, and Voltemade is there to tap home to make it 1-0 on the night and make it 3-1 on aggregate for Newcastle. You have to say, it seems like it was against the run of play, as it's a good ball in from Trippier. It's a good save by Martinez as Garassi heads, but Voltemade is there to tap home and make it 1-0. Against the run of play a little bit maybe, as Nick Pope now has the ball and goes out to Trippier. Voltemade now. In all the games we've played against Newcastle, across both saves on this channel, Voltemade has ran us ragged quite a few times as Rodgers, finding Sancho, finds Watkins. As Sancho having a pretty good game here. Morgan Rodgers not so much, and we are actually going to bring Rodgers off for Torres, who makes his live com debut for Aston Villa on this channel. As Digne with the corner. We need a goal now if you want to get back into this. It's headed away, but only as far as Torres. And it's just over from Facundo Torres, the new signing. As Botman goes to Lewis Hall. Harrison Ashby now, driving forward, finds Voltemade. Back to Ashby, who goes inside to Willock. To Lewis Miley. Newcastle just keeping the ball nicely here, as Voltemade turns and gives it to Ashby. Harrison Ashby, ex-West Ham, finds Garassi, and that is game over. Newcastle double their lead here today, and it is now 4-1 on aggregate. And it seems like Aston Villa just haven't taken their chances here at all, as we are going to get some fresh legs on. At least this is a competition that, although we obviously want to win it, it is not a necessity to win it in terms of the Glory Hunter Challenge. So we don't have to win it, but obviously we would like to win it. I wish it swapped. I wish it swapped them both. So like, just swap them both. Do you know what I mean? You could just, why can't you just swap them both? Like, as we're into the final 20 minutes now, Garassi being a bit of a problem for the Aston Villa backline here, as Pau Torres finds Tielemans, who plays a good switch out to Garcia, trying to find Gesand, and does. It's headed away by Ashby, but Torres is there to pick it up. Torres cutting inside nicely and finds Gesand, and it's a brilliant save from Nick Pope. That's just further proof that Aston Villa just haven't taken their chances and found the back of the net here today. As Nick Pope, is he going to go long? He does go long. Up to Garassi as Pau Torres wins that header. Maatsen now. Was going to be my starting left back, but did get injured at the start of the year. Digne just couldn't take that place back from Digne, but he plays a good ball through to Torres, who hits it on the volley. Newcastle appealing for offside, and I have to say I do agree with them, and we are both right, as VAR confirm Facundo Torres just made that run a little bit too early, but he has been a bit of a bright spark since he came on. As we approach the final 10 minutes here in the Carabao Cup, and the final 10 minutes of our Carabao Cup campaign, you would imagine, unless we could get a miracle, final 5 minutes. And if we do score, it has to be now. As Garcia beaten by Visser. It's a good save from Emi Martinez to deny Johan Visser there. Pau Torres now. As we approach the final 5 minutes of this game here. And Newcastle are through to back-to-back Carabao Cup finals as they defeat Aston Villa 2-0 here on the night at Villa Park and 4-1 on aggregate. Unfortunately, it was a disappointing game there as we just couldn't find the back of the net. Fucking hell. As they will be facing Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final. As attention now turns to the Premier League, where we face Bournemouth and Brighton before we come back for the FA Cup tie against Portsmouth. So we will be back with the results of those two games and our lineup to face Portsmouth at home. So I will see you there. Okay then, we are here. Our lineup has been selected and the games in between the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup here today against Portsmouth have been played. Now, we got two good wins in the Premier League. As first off, we faced off against Bournemouth at the Vitality. Ollie Watkins opened the scoring. Alex Scott then got an equaliser for Bournemouth, and Morgan Rogers shortly after got himself a brace to get a second and third for Aston Villa. Up to nearly 20 goals now. However, I'm thinking maybe to sell him in the summer because he's worth quite a lot of money, and I don't know if he's just performing well, but I don't think Morgan Rogers is that great on this game. So I think we could definitely get better wingers than him. But obviously only if the right offer comes in. We then faced off against Brighton, who are up there with us, looking to try and get European football. And we beat them 2-1 at home, with new boy Facundo Torres opening the scoring. Jorginho Rutter then got an equaliser for Brighton before Harvey Elliott scored the winner to make it 2-1. And we sit fourth in the table, 6 points ahead of fifth and 9 points ahead of seventh now, with 12 games to go. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Champions League football could be on the cards. So if we could win the Europa League this year, then we could be in a decent spot to be in the Champions League next year. But if we don't win the Europa League, this is where the Glory Hunter Challenge becomes tricky. If we don't win the Europa League this year, I'd rather finish 6th than I would finish 4th, as I actually think that we stand a better chance of winning the Europa League than the Champions League, obviously. So it would be nice to try and win the Europa League with Villa. But I think we do have the squad that is capable for it, and we will be playing in the Europa League round of 16 next episode, because that will be around this point. But let's get into the lineup we have gone with to face Portsmouth today. I've rotated a little bit just because I want to try and keep it realistic whilst also going somewhat full strength, just to ensure that we do go through. So we've gone with Bizot in goal, a back four of Matty Cash, Concert, Torres and Matson, a midfield three of Onana, John McGinn and Harvey. In fact, we'll go Emi Buendia, McGinn and Onana. Rogers starts on the right. Facundo Torres comes in on the left and Ollie Watkins leads the line. Portsmouth are towards the bottom end of the Championship, so it should be a comfortable win to get us into the 5th round of the FA Cup. Fingers crossed. Let's get into this FA Cup tie and see how we face off against Portsmouth. Okay then, here we are for the FA Cup 4th round against Portsmouth. Portsmouth have lined up as follows. Nicholas Schmidt is in goal with a back four of Jordan Williams, Paul, Boat and Oglivi, with Marlon Pack and Andre Dozzell in midfield. Andre Dozzell sounds familiar. They've gone with Yang Min Hyuk and Josh Murphy, twin brother of Jacob Murphy, of course, on the wings, with Connor Chaplin in the 10, followed by Harvey Blair, ex-Liverpool youth player, leading the line for Pompey here today. That's just confirmation of the lineups here today. As Andre Dozzell, I believe, might have used to played for Aston Villa. As Harvey Blair gets us underway for this FA Cup 4th round tie, where hopefully we can get ourselves a nice win. And or did he used to play for Ipswich? I'm going to have to check that. In fact, I'm going to check that now. As Dozzell is on the ball, goes back to Boat, finds Oglivi down this left-hand side for Portsmouth. It's a good ball, but Matson is there, heads it only as far as Min Hyuk, and Yan Min Hyuk gets an early goal for Portsmouth. They find themselves 1-0 up in the first 3 minutes here at Villa Park. As Portsmouth with an early goal, as Ollie Watkins gets us back underway. Hopefully we can get ourselves back into this game soon, as Buendia try to find Rogers, but it falls to McGinn, it's blocked, and it falls to Onana, and it hits the bar. Hopefully Portsmouth try and come back at us, as I did check, and Andre Dozzell did used to play for Ipswich. I think I remember him from a FIFA career mode a while ago. As Josh Murphy whips it in, finds Pack, and it is out for a Portsmouth corner. Portsmouth really surprising Aston Villa here with a really strong opening 10 minutes. As Schmidt now with the goal kick finds Regan Paul. I believe it's Regan. It might not be Regan. If it is Regan Paul, it's ex-Lincoln City Regan Paul. Josh Murphy is dispossessed by Morgan Rogers. Matty Cash now trying to find Rogers, who pulls it back, and it's really good block from Paul on the line there. Facundo Torres nearly getting himself a goal, as it is now Facundo Torres with the corner for Aston Villa. It's not a bad delivery, it's headed away, but only as far as Torres, who cuts in and tries to find the bottom corner and does. It's a superb finish from the new man, who gets yet another goal for his new club and gets Aston Villa back level with Portsmouth here. It's been a hectic opening 15 minutes here, as it is headed away, but Facundo Torres picks it up and glides back in to the penalty area. Takes a small deflection underneath Schmidt, but we do not care, as it is Aston Villa 1, Portsmouth 1. Liverpool have Chelsea in this next FA Cup round, which is brilliant. That means one of those teams will be out of the competition, as well as Manchester City, who got knocked out in the 3rd round by Newcastle, of course. So that is brilliant news. As Onana wins the ball, Chaplin doing well to regain possession for Portsmouth. The goal scorer of the first, Min Hook, drives past Maatsen. He's still going here, is young Min Hyuk, as it's a good save by Bizot to turn it round for a corner to Portsmouth. As it's been a very good opening 30 minutes here. Lots of highlights, an entertaining game. As Bowat goes to Paul, who goes long and finds Min Hyuk. Chaplin now running at the Aston Villa defence, and he does run into the penalty area, and it's just over the bar from Chaplin. Portsmouth not looking like a relegation team in the Championship here. They are looking dangerous and like they can really cause an upset here in this FA Cup tie, as we are coming to the end of this energetic first half. 5 minutes to go here, as Portsmouth seem to be having a lot more of the highlights, as Min Hyuk finds Pack. Min Hyuk finding Chaplin again. Chaplin cutting inside and finding Pack. Josh Murphy now goes to Harvey Blair. Josh Murphy finds Harvey Blair again. It's a brilliant finish from Harvey Blair, and Portsmouth find a second. And Aston Villa are really in a tough scrap here, as Josh Murphy finds Harvey Blair. He is definitely onside. Maatsen just keeping them all on there. It's a really good finish from the ex-Liverpool man. As into the final minute now of this first half, as Maatsen does well and finds Torres. John McGinn now finding Buendia, who finds Maatsen. Ian Maatsen with a really good first touch there, driving against the back line and finds Rodgers, and it's just over from Morgan Rodgers, as it is Aston Villa 2, Aston Villa 1, Portsmouth 2 at half time here, and we are going to bring the reinforcements on here, as I am going to bring Yuri Tielemans and Harvey Elliott on, as Ollie Watkins gets us underway for this second half, where we do find ourselves down against Portsmouth. This would be a really big upset if Portsmouth can hold on to the lead here. And this is why the Glory Hunter Challenge is difficult, because even if you are a really good side, you can lose these games. As Matty Cash wins the header, Onana finds Tielemans, who goes into Watkins. Torres now, can he find Watkins again? Maatsen trying to find that ball through to Torres. Facundo Torres now goes back to Ian Maatsen, and it's out for another Aston Villa corner. Aston Villa definitely had the better chances in this game, but just haven't taken them, as Portsmouth have been clinical with the little chances that they have had. As Maatsen here with the throw-in for Aston Villa. They need a goal. Tielemans driving into the penalty area, and it's a really strong hand from Schmidt in the Portsmouth goal. Forces it out for a corner, as Ollie Watkins not really having the greatest game here. We're going to bring Gesand on. Onana can come off for Kamara, and we do have one more sub, as we're going to bring Garcia on for Matty Cash. 15 minutes to go here, as Harvey Blair, surrounded by Aston Villa players, goes back to Swift, and it's won by Garcia, and Rodgers now can break. Finds Gesand, who finds Garcia. Aston Villa moving the ball well here. Garcia beats his man and does really well, and finds Gesand, and that is the goal back that Aston Villa needed, as Gesand makes it 2. He levels the score in here in this one, and And it is a very, very crucial goal for the Glory Hunter Challenge. Garcia doing really well to get to the byline. It's a really good cross across the face of the box to Gessan, who makes it 2-2. As Matson trying to find Konsa at the back post and does. Ezri Konsa makes it 3 and the comeback has been completed. Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? What is this heart? What is this fucking angle? As Swift goes into Min-hyuk and it's a good ball through to Bishop, who finds Harvey Blair. I'm so confused. What the hell's going on? This game is so broken. As it is 3-3. Portsmouth peg Aston Villa back almost immediately there. As Garcia goes into Elliott. Garcia now with a good delivery, trying to find Gessan, and does find Evans Gessan. And Gessan gets his second. With 5 minutes to go in injury time, it's a really good ball from Garcia, who finds Gessan with an unbelievable header into that far top corner to make it 4-3. And we don't have long to go here. Just 3 minutes still to play in this one. And that is the full-time whistle. We survive the scare, barely, as Aston Villa beat Portsmouth 4-3 here at Villa Park. Portsmouth really put up a valiant effort there today. But thankfully, we do get the win. And attention now will turn to the Europa League round of 16 and the next round of the FA Cup. So we will be back tomorrow for more Glory Hunter, where we will probably play in the Europa League. So if you don't want to miss that video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my Twitch, link in description. We stream pretty much daily on our Sleaford Town save. We are now step 4. Don't forget to check out the Twitter. It's where I update everyone on when I'm going live, when my videos are going live, my scheduling and all that jazz. And thank you very much for watching this episode of the Glory Hunter Challenge. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.